Okay, everyone, let's talk about imposter syndrome. It's something that once a week, at least once a fortnight, I get really badly, especially when I'm trying to sleep. The reason I'm doing this video today is because it happened to me last night. The moment my head hits the pillow, and for those of you who think this is a fake background, by the way, it's really not. It's my bedroom. My pillows are here. See, as soon as my head hits the pillow, my brain just starts doing overtime. It starts going into all of the what if scenarios of the business, and what if we run out of money? What if somebody doesn't pay? What if everybody cancels tomorrow? All of these scenarios that are actually pretty much unlikely. Um, but for some reason, I tend to then start to obsess about them. And often, as I did last night, I'll get back up, make a note of things that I need to do, write a to-do list, and ensure that those things are at least out of my head and onto paper or my phone, as the case may be. Um, and or being fixed if they're a genuine concern that I hadn't really considered. This is one of the things that plagues people that are building businesses on their own. It's hard to kind of air these grievances with other people, and even if you've got a business partner, it's hard too. Sometimes you don't want to show somebody any weakness, including those closest to you, and as a result, you just show a brave face all the time. And to an extent, maybe that's important. You need to inspire a team, but I think it's much more important to be human. And as I'm testing with these vlogs, I think vulnerability and honesty and transparency are key factors into inspiring people to hopefully join you on your journey and build something great themselves. So yeah, I think how do you overcome these? Well, the reality is that I'm not a psychologist and I can't really tell you. I can only tell you what works for me. And what works for me is a combination of a couple of things. First thing being that just to stay really assured in the fact that, you know what, if all of this fails, it's cool. Probably built up a decent CV by now. And so if I ever needed to go and get a job, I have no idea what I would go and apply for, but probably would be okay. Secondly, I'm lucky enough to still have my parents. If things did screw up and I lost where I live, then I could, again, don't take it for granted, but go and probably move back in with them. But then let's look at the upside and not the downside. Okay, well, how do we get over this imposter syndrome? Well, the reality is, I think that anyone who's ever built anything great doesn't really know what they're doing. They're all making it up as they go along. Elon Musk this week just became the richest man on the planet, surpassing Jeff Bezos because Tesla shares are going crazy. And you can almost guarantee that when he took pretty much all of his money from selling PayPal and put it into a couple of new ventures at full risk, he probably didn't really know what he was doing. He'd never built a rocket company before, and it wasn't too heard of to hear of people building privatized space companies. Most of it was public, obviously, with NASA over in the US, and so he's kind of making it up as he goes along, and look what's happened. The upside is often as scary, if not scarier than the downside. I'm comfortable with going back to nothing because that's where I essentially have come from. Um, but I'm kind of sometimes uncomfortable about where things could go. So maybe that's why my brain automatically just defaults to worst case scenarios, because ironically it might be more comfortable there. So yeah, I'll probably get off the psychologist couch now. You can all kind of unload all of that stuff and turn it into something that you might be able to either identify in yourselves or maybe help me fix myself, potentially in the comment section. But um, yeah, I just wanted to air this with you because it's so fresh for me, having woken up today and felt like, wow, okay, that was a bit of an episode last night. And knowing that actually, you know what, while we're all in isolation, certainly in the UK, there's probably a lot of you that are going through it too, wondering what happens if work dries up. Um, and the reality is you can't control this. I'm actually supposed to be, I haven't started it yet, reading a book. This might be backwards on this video. Yeah, it is. Called The Tao of Pooh and the Tale of Piglet. It's kind of like a beginner's guide to Taoism, which is mostly talking about the fact that there are certain things you can affect, and certain things that you can't. And if you can't affect it, don't worry about it. Just worry about the things you can. And so I think that's one of the principles that's keeping me grounded. throw out any worries that might arise during building a business. But I'd love to know how you all deal with this kind of situation. If you experience imposter syndrome, and how that feels to you, and any solutions that you might have, any top tips that you might want to share with other people, pop them in the comment section. We'll discuss them. I'll share a couple maybe on my next video if anything good comes up. And yeah, appreciate you still watching. This is video number 3 for the year. I have no idea whether we're gonna make it to 4 or 5 or 4 or 500 at this rate, but I'll keep doing them. Hopefully you guys keep listening and commenting and engaging, and hopefully it stays useful for you. Got some more stuff coming up soon. I've got to crack back on with this rebrand and start fixing the things that I was sleepless about last night. So I'll wrap it up there, and I'll see you in the next video.